Hi everyone. Uh, let's not talk something physical for a change. I mean, there's been loads of talks about apps and optimization on that side for today. Uh, we come to the field of marketing or mobile things from a bit different angle. We make physical buttons, and we are part of the big movement of Internet of Things these days. So when you talk about Internet of Things, one thing comes to mind, okay, you have the fridge talking to the microwave or fridge talking to the grocery store, telling, okay, we need to fill up for Friday, for the Friday pizza, for the Saturday spare ribs, whatever you have, automated in a way. Okay, that's a great idea. Of course, I would like to skip the grocery shopping on Friday evening when it's crowded, but there's a problem. On the Internet of Things, okay, we have the fridge fulfilling the order, but then my friend Sixto calls me on Friday afternoon, asks me for, okay, let's go for a motorbike ride for the weekend, do some exploring of Spain. What happens? Okay, the groceries come and they come for nothing, right? So what we actually need in the Internet of Things, we need human will, because we humans are somewhat random actors in a way. That's one of the things that brought us the button. Okay, the other way of catching the Internet of Things would be always, like you guys seem to have thought, okay, let's do an app. But the problem with the apps is this. I just checked on the way over here. I have more than 200 apps on my phone. I use maybe 30, 40 of them, and I consider myself a heavy user. And that's something you've been talking in Spanish today, like, okay, how to get the traction on the apps, right? This is something we discovered with one of our customers as well. In France, Paris, Le Taxi Bleu was actually one of the first taxi companies to deploy app orders for the taxis. And what happened, it took off really well, but there was a saturation point of 25% of the total orders only was made via an app. They still had the 75% of the orders made by the traditional call center way, which includes all the costs for the taxi companies. And we are the blue ones over there, complementing, in a way, the apps. So our thesis is like, okay, if you're lazy, if you're busy, you don't have or you don't want to open the app, maybe download the app, open the app, and then make the order. Instead, you can use a simple physical device to make the order, trigger the action that you want. And the key for this use is you don't have to make user interface optimization. You just have a simple button that even a child can push. So there are loads of different kind of buttons coming into the market these days. We have actually, we can say, two different methods of connection. One is something that needs the close proximity of something in the infrastructure. There's always the Wi-Fi, you have to set it up. There's the Bluetooth button, you have to set it up. Or, as in our case, we use standalone buttons, working with GSM, with other IoT new networks like Sigfox, especially strong in France and in Spain at the moment, or long-range networks. And we have different use cases for the buttons. We have the personal smartphone buttons. We have the Geek Buttons that people solder by themselves, work around, do some programming and soldering. We have the single-purpose buttons like, I don't know, maybe most of you have seen the Amazon Dash button, which is taking off in the US at the moment. And then we have the universal buttons for businesses. How many of you have seen these small flick buttons or No. They're just coming out from Sweden. It's a handy one. You can pair it with your Bluetooth on your mobile phone, and then you can control your Spotify or do whatever actions you want on your mobile phone. But essentially, it's the same as your hands-free button when you close the call or make the call. It's nothing different, it's only wireless. Then we have the Geek Buttons. Even companies like Netflix these days are promoting, okay, make your own Netflix button. It's pretty handy. You can, by push of a button, just open up whatever show you're watching, Downton Abbey on Friday evenings. It turns down the lights if you have a smart home. It's pretty amazing, but it's still a geeky thing. Then we have the Amazon Dash. That's the basic, really a small Wi-Fi button. You should actually have, we counted at some stage, like 20 buttons in your household for the fulfillment of all the things that you need. The razor plates, the detergent for the cleaning, washing machine, etc., etc. Another thing from France comes the Darty button, which has taken off really well. They made a simple Wi-Fi button for their regular customers, and they gave out like 40,000 buttons for a single callback function. When you push the button, somebody from Darty will call you and ask you, okay, how may I help you? And the good results on that was that they actually increased the consumption with these customers like 25% during the time they checked that. People buy more when they get service. And this is us. We have the first universal button for all the businesses, all the smart homes. And what we do with the button? We have on-demand services built around the button through our backend. We have the branding, so the brand is always present on the customer premises. Big use cases at the moment for us are the taxis. We currently have like 500 buttons in around Paris in hotels, restaurants, high-end shops with Le Taxi Bleu logo. So instead of the personal calling for the taxi, they just push the button, and the Taxi Bleu has made a promise that they will, once if they accept the order, they will deploy a taxi at the address within next 10 minutes. If any one of you have been searching for a taxi in Paris, you know what a difference that makes. And today we actually published our next big deal with San Diego Yellow Cab as well. One up and coming use case is health and safety. You can have the button on your grandma's, okay, I need assistance. You can use it for medication reminders if you want to. There's always the pizza. That was actually one of the original ideas behind the button. Okay, maybe I should just push a button to get my weekly pizza order. There's a small anecdote on this. I mean, we Europeans, we tend to like shift, okay, we order this pizza this day, and maybe next week I want to have something else. But in the US only, with one of the biggest chains, they have 600,000 regular customers that make the same order at least once a week. So in that case, the button serves the function. Buttons can be used in the maintenance field as well. We have buttons on the movie theaters because they don't have staff to look after, okay, is everything okay with the cinema hall. You have buttons to call for assistance. We have buttons to call for cleaning. We do marketing campaigns also together with our partners with the buttons. We just ran a planned international Girls' Right campaign in the Nordics, which was a huge success according to plan. Another marketing and promotions, we can even control the big LED screens downtown in Helsinki with the button. It will change the video that shows on the screen. There was a big campaign on releasing the new Batman game over there, and every 15th or random number of pushes realized actually something to win for the person who pushed the button. This is my favorite one, concierge. I need some assistance from a bank. I want to call the bank call center. What turns out I have to be either on the line for like next 15 to 45 minutes, or I have to go through a series of different numbers. Okay, which service do you want? And use my time over there. Instead of just pushing a button and the company can make, for the VIPs, they can make a promise, okay, we will call you back in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Just turning the service process around. Then there's the meeting room. Okay, if something goes wrong around here, these guys obviously know what they're doing, but if you have a projector that's broken and you have 10 high-paid people in the meeting room waiting for the technical guy, looking for the phone, whom to call, whom to get the assistance, instead of you can have one button to call for service, and the technical guy hopefully runs to the room. Back to the apps, which one would you prefer? To have the physical presence on the customer premises 24/7, always visual, or have one of the apps out of 200? Thank you.